Hey guys, and welcome to another 7 Days to Die. This is actually going to be a tutorial video. Mainly aimed at newer players. The 7 Days to Die is surprisingly, this is still a pretty popular game. You got two map options from the get-go: Navezgane and Random Gen. I'm gonna pick Random Gen. If you want an easier experience, I would go with Navezgane, just so then you can, learn some of the different points of interest, the different zombies, just, have something like, there's a map of Navezgane as well, so, you can look that up on Google, I'm sure. Got your standard options, difficulty, and it's listed over there on the right. I'm going through the motions in reality, even though you can't actually see that, but that's not important. So, for beginners, I would start out on Scavenger. If you want like a tougher first kind of crack at the game, maybe Adventure. I wouldn't go beyond that, if you're just starting out. Zombies are on. For the purposes of a tutorial, I've got it set to never run. There are a couple of exceptions to that, which we'll talk about later once we go over the different zombie types. I don't know if that'll be this episode or video or whatever, or if I'll make a multi-part type of series. Again, if you want, we can leave it on default if you want. Default, they'll walk during the day and they run at night. Never run, they'll never run with the exception of a couple exceptions. And always run, they run day or night. Enemy aggression. Feral is the harder of the two options. Pretty much just ramps up their awareness. So like they will know where you are pretty much at all times. When the zombies are around. Daylight length. Pretty much just it does exactly what it says in the tin. It tells you how long the day is going to be. Easiest option is 18 hours, but you can lower it to make it harder. Pretty much just gives you how many daylight hours there are and how many nighttime hours there are. For the purposes of a tutorial and my own personal preference, I go with 18 hours. Just because it's no fun sitting in a building or something for 12 hours waiting for the sun to come back up and the zombies to quit running. On default options, of course. And there's modded options. You get a few options. I want to say the default is everything for what you drop on death. Personally, I put it as a tool belt only, which is just your hotbar. Of course, if you want it harder, you could do backpack only. Or if you want to really be a masochist, you could go for delete everything. Which means there is no backpack to pick up. For tutorial and easiest purposes, I would go with the tool belt. Drop on quit, just leave that as nothing. There's no reason for you to drop stuff when you leave the game. Enemy memory, that default is 60, and that is real world seconds. That a zombie will pursue something that it's seen or heard or smelled or whatever. It will spend 60 seconds, real world time, trying to locate that object. If it fails, it'll wander off and it'll go back to being a zombie, but I'll put that on 45. I mean, and you can increase that all the way up to a minute and a half if you really want to. Enemy spawning. The default is medium. I wouldn't go any higher than just basic high. Sometimes if you go to very high, the zombies really spawn in quite a bit, and that can crash your game, which is no fun. Tutorial purposes, I'm going to go on low. I mean, you could make it easier and go very low, or disable it, but be aware, disabling the enemy spawning does not make it so absolutely zero zombies spawn. There will still be one or two zombies here and there, very rarely. So disabling the zombies will not make them stop spawning. I don't know if that's intended or if that's just a glitch. Block durability, just leave that at 100. You can lower it, which will make your own breaking stuff easier, but the zombies also have an easier time, and I don't know why you would make it harder on yourself. Loot respawn, just how many days it takes for loot to respawn in the world. I leave it at 5 days. I like to loot respawn myself, but you could increase this, you know, to make it harder on yourself, or disable it entirely. That's all up to you. Loot abundance. This does not affect quality of loot. This just affects how much loot you will get. So the default is 100. You can lower it to make it harder on yourself, or raise it to make it easier on yourself. Personally, I like 200. I'm a loot addict, so I love looting. And if not affecting the quality, this affects quantity, not quality. So if you open a fridge and you have it set to 100 and you find one, you know, can of chicken soup, well, if you get this at 200, you'll find 2 cans of chicken soup in the same refrigerator, basically. It just doubles the amount of loot you can find. Airdrops, you can, if you leave it enabled, you'll get an airdrop every X amount of hours. I leave it on 24. I like the daily airdrops, but you can make it every 3 days or once a week if that's what you're into. But 24-hour cycle, this just tells you, I mean, I'm sure you guys can read, but pretty much is how long in real life time it takes for the 24-hour cycle in game to pass. Turning it up makes the daylight longer, but it makes the nighttime longer, and turning it down does the opposite. I'm gonna put that on 60. I like 50 myself just for recording purposes, but I'll do 60. Mark airdrops. I would just leave it on, that way you can find the airdrops when they're dropped. You can just leave the mini bike icon thing alone. It won't, you know, it don't really affect anything, because most of the time it's just you, and if you do you manage to get co-op working and can co-op with your friends and whatnot, you'll just kind of know whose mini bike is whose and whatnot. Or if you're a more cooperative group, you won't really care if somebody borrows your mini bike or something, as long as they put gas in it. Cheat mode, I'm going to turn that on just for tutorial purposes, so I don't have to, you know, waste, you know, my time and your time full on gathering stuff and etc. This way I can just spawn what I need for tutorial purposes. Personally though, I leave it off, is you cannot earn achievements if you turn it on, so just keep that in mind, you achievement hunters out there. And I also find cheat mode kind of boring, because I have a habit of spawning in all the best guns and weaponry and taking a rocket launcher to all my problems, and then that's no fun. So multiplayer options. I forget what the default is for this. I'm guessing, I don't know. I haven't played much multiplayer in this. You can turn friendly fire on if you wanna, what do you call it? Have a competition who can survive the longest, or, you know, make your own permadeath type of game. That's all up to you. The claim size, you do spawn with a land claim block, and that'll claim a certain area in the world for you, you know, as, you know, you. Like this, if I placed it down, it'd be Ashen's territory for a 31 by 31 block area from bedrock to sky. The dead zone is just, like, if I place one block at block position number 1, well, 31, it actually 41 blocks from that where someone else could place another one. I mean, I don't do multiplayer, so none of this crap really matters to me. Claim health, just how durable, what claim is. Rule sets, just it gives you a few different options. Difficulty, and then there's a couple of different ones. Modern Zombies, where it's on Nomad difficulty and they always run, kind of like your Call of Duties and whatnot. Classic Zombies, more of your Night of the Living Dead zombies, where they never run and still Nomad. And Feral, which is, where they always, I guess it's just default running, where their aggression is set to Feral. And Nightmare, where the game difficulty is on Insane, the hardest. The zombies always run and they're always Feral. I don't usually bother with that myself. I just go with the options I got here and I call her good enough. Alright, so when you go to start game, if you're on random gen, your name is your world seed. So just keep that in mind. You can try and look up seeds online. Personally, I'm going to use Ashton for this. If you want to play your own random gen world, if you put in exactly that, you will get the exact same random gen world I'm going to get. So, I will be back with you guys in just a minute once we are in the game, because loading is atrocious in this game. Alright, welcome back. Alright, so when you spawn in, you'll immediately get a quest for the basic survival. Personally, I take a look around just to see if there's a road or a building or just generally anything in this vicinity that's remotely useful. Does look like kind of in between a plains and a forest biome. So your first quest to gather up all these plant fibers, and just like Minecraft, go ahead and start whacking. And personally, instead of just following the quest exactly, be sure to gather extra plant fibers. You'll need them later for future tools, for finishing more stuff in the tutorial. Just all kinds of good stuff. So once you think you've got a fair decent amount, alright, plant fibers, and then yeah, this is the creative menu like I mentioned, so I don't need that. Craft a bedroll. D-pad up is going to craft it. D-pad to the right will favorite said item. You also spawn with some water, some food, one bandage, a torch, which can double as a light source and a weapon, and then the land claim block like I mentioned. Alright, that's done. Let us grab our bedroll, place it down, and this serves as your respawn point. So if I go out and I die, I will respawn on this bedroll. So I'm going to take that with me. Alright, quest 2. We got to get some wood. There are little bushes that, there's a pig. There are little bushes that can serve for wood. But if you can't find any, personally I just start with one of these little sticks. And yeah, just like Minecraft, you punch a tree with your bare hands. Alright, wood acquired. Now we gotta find some small stones. These can be a little tricky to find because they're kind of small, but once you find them, they're not that hard. Alright, here we go. Another rock. Normally when I do a series, I cut this, out just because this ain't very, entertaining, but alright, rocks acquired. Now, if we go back to our crafting, we can make ourselves a stone axe. Personally, I favorite the stone axe so I can always find it. But you guys do you. Alright, stone axe in hand. Go ahead and grab yourself some more wood. Because, I mean, you're going to need lots of wood. And while you've got the stone axe, make sure to grab some extra stone as well. That way you can make a replacement stone axe. Alright. Alright, you got some wood in tow. These small boulders, they can give you plenty of good resources. So, assuming you have time, try and crack these open, but right now I'm just after the very basics of stone. Alright, how much stone do I got? 25. That's an okay start. Huh. Guess I haven't actually looked through the creative menu in quite a while. Huh. Alright, so now the next quest. Make some plant fiber clothing. You can use the triggers to cycle through here or just go up and hit the A button for Xbox, X button for PlayStation. So we want to make plant fiber gloves, hood, pants, shoes, and shirt. And right behind it, just if you Y button on something in your inventory or triangle on PlayStation, if this game is on PlayStation, and you can D-pad up on your clothing to wear it, D-pad right will scrap it. Alright. And the reason I did that is simply because the next quest is to wear the plant fiber clothing. So figure might as well just grab it. Alright. Quest number 4. Craft yourself a wooden club. And go ahead and bring that down to your hotbar. Alright, wooden club in tow. So now we gotta grab some feathers. The best place to find feathers are in bird nests. Unless you're crafty enough to catch and kill a chicken with your stone axe, bird nests are gonna be your best bet. Holy crap, that rock scared me. So, forest biomes usually got a lot of birds' nests. There's one right there. Alright, grab that. You can get feathers, you can get eggs. Another thing in the forest biomes, if you see these tree stumps, make sure to try and check them out. 133 bullet casings. Hell yeah. They usually got good stuff. More feathers. Alright, so now what we can do is we can make some arrows. And we'll make the wooden bow. You only gotta make 2 for the quest, but personally, just make as many as you can. I ran out of stone, so I'm gonna go gather some more stone while I'm waiting for those feathers and arrows, or the arrows and the bow and arrow to craft. Because, yeah, you don't have to keep the inventory open to craft. You can go about doing other stuff, such as I'm doing here. Alright, and you just saw my weaponsmithing has increased. So we'll grab this bow and arrow. Alright, and let us go back over here. Need a new stone axe. Alright, so next step, make some wooden frames. And personally for this, I just, you know, these first 3, just for the quest. I just set them down. Upgrade them. Just so you can get the quest out of the way. And the next thing it's going to want is for you to make a campfire. So I'll gather some stone. And this is another reason I preemptively gathered stone. It's just because you need so much stone. Alright, and that is the tutorial complete. And I'm going to gather up some more stone here. So basically the HUD, you've got your hot bar right in the middle. Lower left corner. Blue bar is stamina, so running, cutting down trees, fighting zombies, all that's going to drain your stamina. The red bar is your health bar. As you take damage, it will go down. But you can use bandages, first aid kits, painkillers, etc. to bring that back up, as well as food. Upper right corner is going to have your quests, if you have one active, as well. And then top middle, you got your compass, which will tell you your direction, as well as what day it is and the current time. Just note the time is in military time, so it's, I want to say it's going to be 1300 and 1400 instead of 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. Alright, so if we go over to our map, bumpers will cycle this menu. We can zoom the map out, find out where that trader is. Alright, the trader is up here. So I'm going to do is I'm going to press the Y button, or triangle if you're on PlayStation, save waypoint, and personally I go with this trader looking icon. That way now that trader is marked in the map. Now you've got two options here. You can go to that trader, or you can just wander off and go exploring. Personally, I suggest you go exploring instead of going to a trader on day one, because you have no money, you have nothing to sell. So, speaking of money, we just got some money. So, and this is the point where the game opens up. At this point, I can kind of go where I want, do what I want, you know, etc. Alright, so I'm gonna, let's look at the map. Another thing you should do when you're on the map is if you look right up here where my cursor is, pay attention to that area. You'll see the numbers are moving. Alright, so I'm gonna move over this way. Alright, let's see. You want to try and get as close to 0, as possible. And I personally use this little, like, city skyscraper building. Because right around 0, there's what's known as the Hub City. And I'm currently doing a series where you have to live in the Hub City. But as a newer player, I would avoid the Hub City like the plague. At least for your, you know, your first couple weeks, you know, in game. Make sure you search all the garbage, if you have time, of course. All right, look at that. We got ourselves a house here. Well, it looks like just a basic starter house. All right. Usually these are unlocked. Whenever you enter a structure, I personally crouch just to see if anything has sensed me opening the doors or making generalized noise. So So this particular house on the map is right about here. So that's where it is. It's just a little bit north of the spawn. Alright, cooking pots, that's a good find. Cupboard, we might get some food or we might not. Alright, we got a trash can here with some wood. what you can do with these chairs, you can grab these chairs. And I'll show you what you can do with those in a minute. But we'll grab this couch. Alright, if you can, I don't know if you guys can see it, but if you peek through that, you can see there's a bag down there. These starter houses always have one bag under a metal plate in the floor. You just gotta kind of look through the crack to see it. And if you get unlucky, just, you know, pick a different metal plate. So we can search this backpack. Alright, a level 3 barbed club. It's actually probably better than what we got. Yeah. Examining it, it does 3.63 for entity damage, 3.27 damage for block damage. We have a 30% chance for bleeding out and blunt trauma to be applied to said victim. And our wooden club is actually better, surprisingly. Okay, well, we can scrap that. Scrap that. We'll scrap these cans. Y button to inspect it. D-pad right to scrap it. So that's how you go ahead and do that. So in the early game, you just kind of, you want to try and gather as much stuff as you can. Like these wooden chairs, I can turn it into 7 wood, which, yeah, 7 wood's not a whole lot, but, well, I picked up like half a dozen of them, so wasn't too bad. Hey, holy shit! Mini bike wheels, 595. Woo! That's pretty good. That's like 5 levels away from max. I can't guarantee you can come to that house and get tires like that, but, and stuff like that is just good to save for in the future. And alright, we got ourselves a car down here. One thing I do kind of realize I forgot to turn on was the distant rendering. It's a challenge. So you can read these and then it'll give you a mission. But we're going to decline that. And I see we've got our first zombie headed in towards us. I'm going to leave her be for the time being, however. We'll search this blue car. Hey, a small engine. Now, the mini bike isn't the be-all, end-all. And there's a road. Alright. So, we're undetected right now. That zombie is currently unaware of us. B button to reload any ranged weapons. And the bow does have a bit of an arc to it, so you gotta, you know, aim slightly above your target and higher up yet for longer shots. Okay. So that killed her. Now you can use your bow and arrow or your wooden club. Sandwiches. Not taking the sandwiches. Ooh, we got another zombie over here. We're undetected. If you can, try and maximize your sneak damage. Okay, that missed. Okay, that hit her. Once they're hit and you're hunted, you won't get sneak damage anymore. But ooh, alright, we took a hit. Search. Sandwiches. Sandwiches are pretty useless, so, you know, you'll eventually pick up on what to grab and what not to grab. Alright, that dude's crawling towards us. Oh, we missed. Okay, we hit him. So that was a crawler we found. The first one we killed, I mean, most of the 7 Days to Die players call that one a Karen. The second one is the Putrid Girl. I actually don't have a nickname for that one. I don't have a nickname for this one here either. Alright. So yeah, they got technical names, and then they got names that the community has kind of bestowed upon them. Hey! They won a pistol. Yeah. The female zombies do have a chance for dropping pistols. The Decayed Mother, the Putrid Girl, and the one that I just killed. Alright, eat some of that chili. Alright, not too bad, not too bad. I'm gonna grab some of the corn. We did find a road here, but I don't want to make this tutorial video too long for you guys, so we're gonna call it our close here, and I will pick back up with part 2 for you. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful and informative. If you did, consider giving us a like. That tells me you enjoyed it or you found it helpful. Go ahead and leave a comment to let me know the same. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you for watching.